Hey everybody, welcome to a very special Geek Freaks where we are talking about Daredevil Born Again, episode 2 and 3. I am Frank, and I'm joined by Squeaks.
Squeaks! I think I over-prepared for this episode.
You might over-prepare for most episodes, really. I wasn't sure if it was going to be this or Moana Wick. I was excited either way.
Oh, that's an idea. That's an idea.
Oh, man.
Oh, shit.
So, we got 2 episodes. What do you think about them doing 2 episodes like this? You think that that's something they should do more in the future?
I like this.
Just so everybody knows, I'm taking a picture of my screen right now.
So, I actually like this. I was just talking to the wife recently, and we were going over of what we like and kind of how our attitudes change when it comes to watching cable TV, right? When The Mandalorian first released, it got me excited. I think it was like every Wednesday to have that one episode of Mandalorian drop.
Yeah.
Now that time has kind of gone on, I don't like it anymore. I just want the full season. I want to watch it all. I need all of it. But with this 2 episode, it's a little, I think, in a sweet spot. I think it just gives us enough. What do you think? Do you think that this is something that they should kind of keep doing?
They did something similar last season when it was with the bank episode, and that was kind of because it was out of pace. I think that's why they did it this time, is because episode 2 to me felt very light, and so I think putting it with 3 kind of keeps things at a better pace. Did you feel like it was a little too slow in number 2? Yeah.
I think it was setting up a couple things that we confirmed. Let's see. But I think I was locked into the conversations, whether it would be with Daniel and the female reporter, maybe a little bit of
BB. Her name's BB. You call her female reporter so many times in our last review.
She's such a side character.
It's just remember the word BB. It's so
She's
easy.
just a side character to me.
But you remember Daniel, the side of side characters?
Because I made a note. I made a note right here because I didn't write Daniel down until the 3rd episode towards the end.
BB has an actual plot. Meanwhile, Daniel is just like showing off his apartment and like, I want to eat whatever the hell he was eating. That's
I know. Apparently, it was really good. So
I know.
But I think I was locking into certain things and conversations and seeing some more character development. Looking into like more of Vanessa and how in the comic books that she's very proficient in firearms is kind of what she has reputation for.
Right, we're building
and her actually kind of like picking up the handguns, kind of like leaning a little bit more into that. I liked how we're starting to kind of see those glimpses of things. So I'm assuming because you're asking that question, then you felt it was pretty slow for your thoughts.
I did, but you know what? You are switching me up a little bit. Let me change my opinion on my take on this. It was slower pace. There's no doubt on that. It just was, and that's fine. It just has to be able to breathe. Like your camera's out of focus because it has Daredevil vision.
I know.
It's all based on sound.
I was like, no, I took a drink. I took a drink and then... Oh, man. Let me try
I can hear that you took a drink.
I took one sip and then everything went blurry. I was like, what the shit? So,
you gotta shut that autofocus off, man. All right, go ahead.
I think it's when I plugged it back into my computer that some of the settings changed. So, you'll have to help me fix that. Storyline, though, honestly, I think the most interesting that's not Daredevil related is going to be Muse. I think that's the most fascinating
gonna be really
one
good.
Yeah. Is there something that's like not Muse related that you wouldn't really see, or
BB for sure? I think BB's going to be the most interesting story that's not Daredevil specific. Yeah,
you had a great
I will say that did I fucking not nail that or what?
You did, and then I made a note here, and I was like, that was pretty obvious of where it went with that conversation. But then when she kind of came around the table in that outfit in the disguise, and I was like, oh, maybe it's a little different because she got like the belly going on. Maybe it's someone we don't expect. As soon as she take the mask off, I was like, all right, well, Frank nailed it, and expected. So
that's per usual.
God, sign a contract already.
But with that, I will say I'm a little bit tired of the cutscenes that are of that version of Fisk. They're a little too long. I don't think we need to like go through an entire thing. They're just not fun to watch. I think they're annoying. So
the BB's videos, huh?
BB's videos, yeah. I think they're just kind of annoying. So I'm just like, yeah, okay. I get it. You're a propagandist. That's cool. Or like you're the establishment, whatever.
I think towards the end of it, the last one, it wasn't really going too much of like statistic or like actual feel like. Sorry, how to say it. I feel like it was just more shit talking than it was like bringing actual news.
Yeah, fair. Me. Yeah.
So really it's like, okay, if it gets really if it goes down that route, then yeah, like you said, you're kind of useless now. We get it what you're doing.
Yeah. Sticking to our two main characters here, Matt with Karen is seems to be very dedicated. They're in Josie's bar. Josie's now arrested, and the detention of people on the streets. You know, this was actually filmed early in 2025, but it just happens to be something that we're seeing a little more of today. And then I think like Josie's now arrested, and then that was one of the inciting incidences that got Matt to get out there and find where they're being stored. He went to Red Hook not necessarily knowing they're in there, but then he took the action of freeing everybody in Red Hook. I didn't think that was going to happen so fast. For that to be in only episode 3? Like, I thought that was like going to be an end of the season thing. Did that surprise you?
It did. Well, the only part that really surprised me was seeing the amount of people that were in Red Hook, because I was just expecting that we're going to see the Zorro character.
We saw it at the end of the last season with everybody in Red Hook. We saw those cages and everything.
Oh man, so that totally just blanked out to me because I was so laser focused and like, oh, he's gonna catch him in that not meeting room necessarily again, but just I was just so focused on him. So it was like, oh shit, that's this is bigger than what I assumed. The really surprising part, though, not to just switch off Red Hook, was the boat and those the men on the boat blowing it up. I'm assuming that just
so telegraphed.
Distract say the vigilantes. I'm assuming that are going to do that, right?
No, Mr. Charlie brought that up. Actually, the reason they did that is because first off, it just works out well for Kingpin to say the vigilantes did this. That was like his thing. But he told Mr. Charlie in the first episode that that's the reason they hired these guys is because they're disposable. Because Mr. Charlie said,
"Yeah, I remember that,
we use your guys. No, they're good guys." And he's like, "Well, then I'll find other guys and we'll just kill them." So they were always disposable.
Yes. But that's where we're going, right? Kingpin's just going to say, like, hey, look at all these vigilantes that escape, and now look what happened, right?
Exactly. He'll do that. The other thing, though, because you didn't remember from the first season, you weren't as disappointed as I was, or surprised, because one of the people that were in those pens was Frank Castle, and he's not there now. We are going to get the Frank Castle special thing at the end, but that's where Punisher's at, and Karen was asking, where is Frank? They actually have moved now, because they were in Josie's place, they moved over to Frank's place. They're actually in Punisher's hideout. Where they're doing their plans now. And it's like, where is Punisher? So now suddenly that special presentation is going to be answering so many questions for us. I'm looking forward to that.
Wow. Every time I see the task force with that Punisher sign, I'm just waiting for Punisher to come out there and be like, hey, you're making a disgrace of my symbol, and
that I think is what his entire movie's going to be about, really.
Oh man, I cannot wait. I cannot wait.
Yeah.
Dang,
that's something that Marvel did in real life is addressing the people using the Skull Punisher stuff. So they're definitely gonna do it.
Okay, so I remember from the first season that he had that like 10 out of 10 best scene I probably ever witnessed in a Marvel thing was when Daredevil and Punisher were basically killing everyone.
In the apartment,
in the apartment. Yeah. So he was locked up after that. Remind me.
Because he went to Red Hook by himself. Punisher went to Red Hook by himself to take him on.
Okay, I remember that.
He told them, like, you guys aren't supposed to use my logo, blah, blah, blah,
That's
blah.
right. Yeah, I remember that. Okay. Yeah.
So he's been in the pen, and then he's not there now. So we're probably going to see him break out at some point. But why is he not helping free New York now? There has to be something else involved, And
I'm assuming that would maybe tie into, like, the Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, because he's there for Spider-Man. And then that's the other thing, too, is, unfortunately, the MCU made this problem for themselves. It's not our fault, but like, where is Spider-Man? Why is he not helping out in this situation?
Yeah.
But the thing that they're trying to say to address that is that approval rating for him is pretty high. Like on the surface, a lot of that thanks to BB. Everything looks like it's going well in New York for a lot of people. So it's just the people who are on the streets who have to know how, or that are like a little bit more awoken to what's going on here. They're the ones that are fighting back. But like Spider-Man's dealing with Scorpion over here. He doesn't have time to deal with beat cops that arrested people. That's something that maybe Daredevil can handle for him. Everybody's kind of dividing up the problems of the city.
Do you predict at all, and maybe you know this information already, like an episode that's just dedicated to that Frank Castle gap? Kind of like maybe like prolong the season in a way?
No, I think that's what the special presentation is going to be. It's going to show him.
Okay, so it's just going to be okay.
Yeah. I think
when is that release? Is that releasing after Daredevil, or when is the release date?
Literally the next week it comes out.
The next week, okay, got it.
So it's like basically another finale.
Got it.
What Stranger Things should have done.
Got it.
Yeah.
What Stranger Things should have done? Why do you say it? Hold on. Why do you say that? Because
everybody was not happy with the finale. I liked it, but everybody wasn't happy with the finale of Stranger Things and wanted another episode.
Too. So then maybe it should have happened with the Game of Thrones then too.
Now hold on. I like Game of Thrones finale.
Really?
I just don't think Bran should be king, but everything else I'm fine with. Daenerys was always going to turn on anybody. You guys were paying attention if you didn't catch that. So yeah, and then also I think we're starting to finally see, not finally, it's only been a couple episodes, but I think we're starting to see a little bit of a friction between Karen and Matt, where they're both burning too hot right now. And so there are moments where they kind of glance off each other. That's just going to be exasperated by the end of the season.
Did you catch it when she shot that guy?
Oh,
they
yeah.
had a little glance at each other, and I was like, oh, she shot him to kill. He probably didn't like that, but in the moment, we got to get out of here.
And remember the conversation they had earlier about Frank, where she's saying, where she was like justifying, like, I wish he was here. And he's like, we don't kill people. And he's like, I get that. She said, I get that. But what if we cut the head off the snake? And like, she is okay with killing people at this point.
Yeah.
And but then again, when we just mirror that over to what she was saying about Poindexter, saying I could never forgive him because he killed Foggy. It's like, well, now wait a minute, because the person you just shot while you're trying to escape Red Hook has a family waiting for him.
Yeah.
Where's your line? You know.
Yeah.
And that's something where it's like, it's hard to have people. There's a reason Daredevil is a superhero. It's because he has that line like Batman does and stuff. And so it's hard for regular people to meet that line. And I think that's one thing that we're going to explore with Karen, is she's going to want to go down and dirty where Frank's at. And Frank's the exception to the rule, right? That's the whole point of Punisher, is he is the hero that kills people. So like during Civil War, when he doesn't want to get his hands dirty and join Cap's side, it's because he's like, I'll just make your side look bad because I kill people. And you know, that's part of his problem.
Yeah.
We're having to see Christine. I do you feel like Christine's going to learn that Matt is Daredevil here pretty soon? Because Matt met her I should say Daredevil met her in her office. And the whole time I'm like, dude, just take the hat off. She wants to know that you're okay. Cherry was her one way of checking in on you, and now Cherry's in the hospital. She doesn't know how you're doing. So I was hoping that he would reveal, like, yo, I'm here. I'm Matt.
Yeah, I think it's just a fear of like, I mean, Spider-Man at one point where you don't reveal because you don't want people around you to get hurt, and that's what he's doing. And that's what I caught right away when he told her to stay there so they could have that conversation. I think it's essentially bound to happen. I think something's going to happen to the male figure that he'd always talked to in the reporting thing that went to the hospital.
Cherry.
Because after he was escaped, Jared, see, I'm not horrible with names. If you're not Daredevil, I mean,
even I swear to God,
Daredevil. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah.
So,
I'm gonna have flashcards ready for you.
I gotta have a picture next to the name though. Okay, so that's the one right now. Because after that escape, then like he essentially went missing, right? So he's somewhere. But I think I could see her taking over that role, and then eventually knowing who Daredevil actually is.
That would be really nice. She could kind of fill in for the Foggy role a little bit too. Be the moral compass when Karen's going too far.
I like that.
Yeah. How is Fisk using fear in these 2 episodes? Because that's a signature move. How is he using fear? What do you think? I think one of the things is how he talked to Daniel. I think that I'm waiting for Daniel to not be bad. Like, definitely went the wrong path. Definitely was selfish. But at a certain point, he's going to see the BB's right and not be a dick, I think.
Yeah, I think he'll eventually get to that way, but I would like to see him try to teeter that line, but then maybe stick with it because he's going to obviously maybe be greedy of like, hey, this is what I have now, and I had nothing before, but now like he always totes about his apartment and stuff. So it'd be kind of neat if he kind of like fell in a more corrupted way. I think besides like that presence in the room and kind of like that conversations that he had with Daniel, it's also proof of what happens with the jury with Zorro. Wrong names, but it's that even though it's like how do you say, like he can always make something go his way, and it's unprecedented in a way. So it almost shows like he has power everywhere, you know.
Right. He seems
I think that's what's
even
the
like
part.
When the governor came in and talked to him, suddenly the governor sided on his side of the case. Like it seems like his power is unmatched. And a lot of that is the backing of Val. Val's definitely pulling levers for him. That's why Mr. Charles is there. That is very interesting. And then, that court case too, which is it is now legitimizing his anti-vigilante task force, because now that they sided with ruling on his like SAFE Act, suddenly it makes it towards like, oh, now the governor says it's okay, and now the government is backing him. So it's not just is Kingpin doing Kingpin's thing in the office. No, the government's backing it too, and now all of a sudden he's even more legitimate, and it's going to escalate. And if somebody doesn't on the legitimate side stand up to him, then it's only going to be seen as vigilantes that are fighting against him, and those guys are always breaking the law. We know that they're good people, but if you're looking at a normal person who lives in New York, the guy that dresses up as a devil versus the governor, you know, you're going to side with the governor. You elected that one. You didn't elect the devil dude. Yeah,
that's fine. Yeah.
What are your favorite key moments from characters this couple episodes that we had here that you thought really shined?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Let's go with Bullseye. I'm gonna go with Bullseye. Someone that we haven't really talked too much into.
Yeah.
But he's the one that's really like, I feel like putting this story in puzzle pieces. I think something that's going to be higher developed, but he's so much in the background, but he's always still that little glimpse, right? So the last time I think we saw him, it could have been where he was looking through the window when he saw Vanessa talking to new Muse. But names.
Yeah.
But it's like he's always there, so it's like, dang, like I'm ready for him to kind of do something's about to pop off with him, and that's what I'm really getting excited for. I think it's just a build-up that's leading to that moment. Is there? I know it's not much from him, but it's kind of I see what the background. Is there someone that you're thinking that this person?
Jacques, played by Tony Dalton, Swordsman. I liked two different versions of him. In court, the way he carries himself, the way he drops lines, is very much, I'm richer than all of you and I'm better than you. But also, he's a good guy on our side. But like the way, I mean, I guess richer is not the term I want to use. He definitely feels like, I know that I'm being screwed over. Like, I'm just going to tell you like it is. Like, I just like the way he talks. It's very cool. And then we actually got to see him be Swordsman. We've seen it in passing on the Hawkeye series and a few things like that, where it's like, oh, here's a found footage of him fighting. But here we actually got to see him like in a full combat scene, like we do with Matt all the time, and to see how Swordman worked. Like he's throwing those bars through people's legs, which again are not kills; they're maims for sure. But like you'll notice it, like from the smoke, he's like hitting him 100%, or he's fighting people off with just these like rinky-dink swords that he put together. To imagine him with an actual rapier would be like, oh, I want to see now full fight scene with him at full free. And now he's free. He could totally do that. So will we see him in suit next to Daredevil fighting alongside him? Dear God, please make that happen. I want that so bad.
Nick, yeah. That'd be sweet. Because like you said, we only get
let's not forget, he's also the stepdad, or maybe dating dad, of Kate Bishop. So we could get her too.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, because they're not doing too much with the Hawkeye series right now, huh? I think they can pretty much call it off because Jeremy Renner wanted additional money. But I don't know what's going on with Haley Steinfeld. I mean, I know she's still doing her Hawkeye thing. So why not break her hand for something like this, and then whatever the future holds for the movie.
And she's such a talented actor. I would love to see her. I mean, God, what she just did in Sinners, and she's just really cool. So I would love to have her a bigger part of this. And again, I want Young Avengers at some point. So that's what I do. She's not even young anymore. That's what's wild. Young Avengers is just going to be Avengers, but we have a different cast now.
This is going to take too long, so they're just going to change it to Avengers.
It's going to be Avengers, but none of them ever had a MySpace page. That's it. That's the only difference. Gen Z Avengers. Okay, so let's wrap this up here. I thought the writing, the dialogue, the visuals, all those are on par with what we normally have. Let's get your final perception of how you thought these two episodes went. Final thoughts.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I think what had me with season 1 was the commentary, because there's a lot of I feel like action throughout the season. But this is obviously getting a little bit, giving us more with each episode so far, having something with scenes in it, with fight scenes in it. But the dialogue still remains on par with me, keeps me locked in. So I thought these two episodes were pretty phenomenal, pretty great. Yeah,
I agree with you. They're definitely setting the ground for a very complex season, more complex than I thought we were going to have. I thought when going into the season we were just going to have, mission, take out Fisk. But now I'm starting to see all these moving pieces, and how the only person who feels completely safe, not even completely safe, let's correct that, the only person who feels like they're not in danger is Fisk himself and probably Mr. Charles. I'll throw that out there. But everybody else, even the people who were closest with him, are scared of him. Like we saw, like the peeking at what happened to the commissioner. Like we saw with Daniel, who's now questioning things. Even his assistant, who's now kind of like sitting next to Heather, talking about how they're watching the court and the king and the queen and all these things like that. So I thought we're really starting to see kind of these two characters with both Fisk and with Matt being elevated, and all their pawns that are around them and how they treat them is going to be important going forward, because you will lose people on your side either by death or by abandonment, and it's up to you on how that happens. So,
yeah. I do want to make one remark. We talked about this last episode. If we were going to have a fear of too many characters in here and kind of gets away from the plot and whatnot. So far, I have not really felt that. I think
we have a lot of characters though, right? They're doing a good job keeping them going.
They're great. Yeah, doing great. Want to throw that out there. Yeah.
That's a good move. All right, guys. Let us know what you guys thought about episode 2 and 3 of Daredevil Born Again. And let us know what you thought about us reviewing this episode like this. I wouldn't mind doing these more in the future, so just let us know what you thought about them. And drop us a 5-star review on Apple Podcast and Spotify. We've been doing good on Spotify. We need some more on Apple Podcast. The other thing too, by the way, we are going to be at the Capital Creative Showcase on May 9th. If you use code GeekFreaks, you get $5 off a $15 ticket. So that means it's only $10 to walk in the door, guys. So go to Capital Creative Showcase, use code GeekFreaks. Links in the description. You can just do that. There we go. All right, everybody. Thank you so much, and have a great week. Bye.
Bye.